to be followed by the singing of the national anthem and for the university hymn.
Dear God, our most omnipotent and loving Almighty, we in the University of Mindanao humbly come to you as a community of believers and doers, to pray and worship and to offer our gratefulness and yearnings. We implore and beg for both of your blessings and refuge for our country, for our city, our university, our families, and most especially for our students. Favor us with your holy sanctification for our humble petitions. For all the officers and members of the Board of Trustees, all the academic executives, and for all our university stakeholders and industry partners. May they all become role models and visionary leaders to lead our people with integrity and acuity. For all the faculty members, for all their untiring and unrelenting love and dedication to mold the students into becoming a better persons and good citizens. Despite all the hardships and challenges, may they all stand firm, hold on, and persevere in their professions. For all the students who will inherit a brighter future because of the altruistic education as contemplated by our founding fathers, may they serve as our beacons to continue our work with your holy grace. May your students become the testament of excellence imbued with stronger character, true resilience, and in good citizenship. Our God Almighty, we bow unto you and offer our prayers. We offer to you our individual collective struggles and aspirations. We offer our plans and programs, and we offer our human limitations. Pardon our transgressions and guide us always, in awe and healthy fear of your holy existence. We ask you all this, our Lord Almighty. Amen.
Bayang magiliw, pera sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang ginirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisingil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simuyat, sa langit mamahal, may dilagang tula, patawid sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na nagnenengeng, ang bituin at araw niyang kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw na wala di pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang iligaya ng pagmay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. Wisdom and knowledge, the best to offer to your Universidad ng
All right. Again, good morning, everyone. How was online class so far? Are we surviving? Just kidding. I know there are mixed comments about it, but I know once aga, always victorious. Am I right? Anyways, are we ready to know why we're here? Why do we have to take this virtual orientation and whatnot? To give us a morning wisdom and pre-orientation for today's agenda, let's all welcome our OSA Directress, Ma'am Mariana Fendoza. Also, she will give us an update for monitoring of compliance report of CSG and student organizations for the school year 2019 and 2020. Let's give her a sounding virtual applause, please.
Clap, clap. Clap, 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 clap. Wow, kusuga sa clap boy. Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you very much for that reply. Yes. So I hear and I have seen here on the other side the number of people who are or who have attended our orientation. And then, yes, there are 39. And then with different names. And I hope that each of this name will really represents their student organization or college student government. Siguro next time we will also include the affiliation, no? Aside from our name, like name and then the name of our student organization or CSG. But nonetheless, I am really grateful that you are here today. Even though this is our first time to meet virtually, I would like to believe that with your presence here, it is really telling me that all of our students, particularly our student leaders, are having that zest, that vibe to give their efforts to their fellow students through their student organizations and or college student government. So again, I would like to thank you for your presence today. All right. So what are our expectations? I hope that after this orientation, I would like to expect personally that we will be united and also we will be able to seriously delve on our task as student leaders of our student organization. And of course, even though during this pandemic, we can really show to ourselves and to others that we have this conviction and resiliency to overcome the struggles of our current situation and rise up and joyously and triumphantly survive, whether it is within the campus or outside our campus. It's actually ourselves that can really determine our success. All right. So may I present to you first the status or the report that I have presented to the management for the school year 2018-2019. I would like to share. Present now. Window. Okay. I hope you have seen this. Okay. Now, the objective for presenting to you these sets of slides is that this is for your information and for you to be aware that these are the achievements that we had in the school year 2019-2020. This will be our first stop, or what we call, we can benchmark on this so that we will know how to go forward. As the saying goes, diba? When you want to go forward, your history can help you. That's my paraphrase na lang. Okay. So that's the thing that I would like to show, and my objective for this. Also, I would like to think that the data that you are going to have, or we are going to know about this, will help us to know what particular events or activities we are going to have for the school year without any violating the quarantine conditions in our local government units. Okay? So to begin, we have here student services, the core functions of OSA. Okay? Student services, student awareness and conduct, student development, and student engagement. Next, by the way, I would like to emphasize that the core functions of OSA are basically these four. These are actually cascaded from the CHED Memorandum Order number 9 series of 2013. Okay? Now, for student services, okay, we have here basically three services that we do and we usually submit as a report to the management. The first is the request for good moral certificate. The second is ID replacement, and the student personnel services feedback. What are these? So basically in OSA, during our stay as student, we do everything academically and even participate in non-curricular activities. But of course, as we go through, the OSA would like to, for the students to be honed not only academically, but also in terms of behavior and attitude. Indeed, when you go out of the university, your knowledge, skills, and attitude will always be measured. That is why the good moral certificate is always asked from the university whether this student is of good moral standing or has violated some of its policies. But of course, even though you have violated, the thing is the student has been oriented so that he can go and further his stay or move forward in his or her industry. So that is why for those who will be claiming their good moral certificate, you can log in at crms.umin.edu.ph/gmc. Okay? You can also tell these to your constituents that because of the pandemic situation, our request for good moral certificate is through online. All right. Next, we have the ID replacement. Now, the ID replacement, same with a good moral certificate, okay, is actually processed by different offices. Now, by the way, going back to good moral certificate, when you request for good moral certificate, it starts with OSA for the request, and then second, it goes to the student accounts office for your clearance in terms of obligations, financial obligations, and then cashier, and then OSA validation, and then the release. So it has to go through that process. As as shown in our FB page, we have that also. Same with our ID replacement. It starts with OSA, and then you pay at the cashier, and then your ID will be processed by the ID processing unit at the ICT. So in short, it still starts with OSA. Okay? With our approval, then you can go through the different steps with the other offices. And of course, the third student services that we do is the student personnel services feedback. Okay. Now, if you're going to click this, it is basically a feedback form. It's an evaluation so that you will be able to evaluate and assess how our services has or have addressed your concern. Not only OSA, but also all the units in the university. Now, when you click submit to that evaluation tool, okay, then it will proceed to the other office, which is the quality management office. They process it, then they submit to us, and then we present it during management review. So if you would like to raise any concern, you can log on to this, okay, HTTP URL, and then, okay, submit your concern. Okay, yan. So these are the basic services that we do for OSA. There are other student services found or as stated in the CMO 9 series of 2013, but we have already other offices or units in the university to cater those concerns or who will address your requests. Okay, yan. Now, moving on, we have here basically our inventory of data to be analyzed. So we have here the what to monitor, purpose, and how. But basically, what are those? This is more on the student awareness, the student development and engagement, and student conduct. So these are the slides that I'm going to share to you so that you will know the status of last year's performers and performance of the student leaders. But of course, I would like to emphasize that this will be our benchmark so that we can create, innovate, and have our own signature in all our endeavors for this year. Okay? Let's start with student awareness. We have here the feedback on the conduct of information and dissemination campaign, particularly the feedback on orientation for freshmen and transferees. Indeed, last year, remember, we had that 1 week or 4-day event, okay, and then we culminated at the gym. So it was basically participated by number of students, kanisha. And then the breakdown of attendees in percentages. So basically, because maybe of their volume, 21% of the total attendees came from the College of Engineering Education. Okay? And we would like to have, when we do, we do understand the participation of 4% from CHE because indeed they are just few. However, the thing is, it is important that we have given them information. Your first year before, now second year students, now this year, they have been informed. And I hope they will still be continued to be informed so that whoever will be in that level, they will pass on that information to the others. Okay? Next. Oh, all right. So this is our action plan. But of course, there were some factors that affected during our conduct of the freshman orientation and transferees. But that's the actual participation because there were people or students and it was a face-to-face event. So highlight of that is that, yes, the speakers and the facilitators during that time got a high rating from our evaluation, meaning our student leaders during that time did their best. And I'm sure some of you were part of those who volunteered for that event. Ang uban gani ato, di ba, Naka-t-shirt pa sa ilahang student organization. Nice po to siya na endeavor. Okay? So this is more on the 5-year trend analysis. And we do this because this is required for us by the management review to show and to, yes, to know how are we doing, and hopefully we're doing well with that. All right? Next, our action plan for the campaign, the information dissemination campaign activities. Okay. So here we are going to consider the info dissemination activities via online. That is why this year, Ma'am Joyce and I will be monitoring your Facebook pages. Tingnan na lang mo tadaan. I will really tell you ahead of time that yes, we will be monitoring your Facebook pages so that not to find faults. So simba ko, dili yun may fault finder. Okay? But to at least guide you on how you are going to present your information so that that information will be able to help those who have read that, no? Those who have read that and imbibe that and carry on that information with them. The thing kasi, if we will not going to monitor, it's all nonsense. And sayang ang oras, sayang ang opportunities, sayang ang data sa tinud-anay lang, no? So that is why we will be monitoring your Facebook pages. Okay? Yan. Also, with your help, we will also launch informational educational campaigns or EICs, no? For the for the students to be socially aware about the Republic Acts and ordinances, particularly on CLEGO, HIV, self-care, healthy lifestyle, and so on. Also, the environmental awareness, and since we cannot have this Adapt a Spot program, maybe on our own, we can devise, be innovative and resourceful. What advocacy we can promote and campaign during this pandemic. Okay? So if you're going to observe, we have already launched our Good Citizenship program. Okay, that's part of our informational educational campaign program. Our Good Citizenship program is a required endeavor wherein all of the students under all the colleges shall have to log into that because it is mandated by, yes, there is a provision in the Republic Act, particularly in the drug testing, implementing random mandatory drug testing, that all of the students must be able to be aware, must be aware and be informed about this endeavor. That's why we have information in our GC program, okay, in the Google Classroom, wherein the student has to download that letter, okay, and then have it signed and then give it to OSA via email also. Okay, to further on that, later we will discuss that after this. Okay, this presentation. Next, going back to our last year's event, we have our literary musical competition, IT Celebration Month, and the Student Leader Seminar Training. Now, last year, we have the litmus. Of course, we will not cover the intramurals because that's under the Sports and Development Office. But what we cover is the literary musical. So for the first place, second place, third place, these are the following. Okay, so congrats to the colleges for having bagged these places, okay, in the different events in the literary musical. Okay. But of course, we have the overall champion last year, and that is the College of Accounting Education. Okay. Next, we have here. So student participation was the highest rating. And indeed, our action plan is that, okay, sana this year, we could have our talent competition at the gym. Okay, diba nabuak man tong kuan, tong lagi glass sa auditorium. Okay. So we would like sana to have that talent competition this year. But since it's pandemic, we cannot do that. All right. So we will again be resourceful and find ways online. Okay. So that we will still deliver the literary musical events. Speaking of that, so we have here the trending, okay, of the literary musical events that happened from 2015 and 2019. Okay. Next, we have the, okay, our trending also. And the IP Celebration Month. Yes. This is usually spearheaded by our IP Paglaom student organization. So that's why thank you very much to the president and the previous and the current president, basically the whole uh, studentry or members of the IP Paglaom Student Organization, because without your participation, initiative, and so on, we cannot have this. All right. So for information from everyone, indeed our indigenous, not indigent, ha, please. Okay, indigenous is different from indigent. Indigent is the four P's. That's DSWD. This one is the Indigenous People Scholarship. So we have scholars who are indigenous peoples, and then we have it represented from different colleges. So basically, we have more from the College of Teacher Education. Okay, that's for first SEM. And the second SEM, we also have from the Teacher Education, College of Teacher Education. Okay, the breakdown of our IP scholars in different colleges. In terms of tribe, okay, we have this, and both in first and second SEM, we have from the Mandaya tribe, all right, out of 80 scholars that we have in the university. Okay. So in the celebration or the IP celebration month, again, the student participation is the one that is really rated high together with the facilities, because it was done at the BE building ground floor with all the exhibits, no? And then our action plan for this is to continue that exhibit, and then hopefully we can conduct IP rights seminars and cultural dances sana. Kung dili, video na lang. Okay, for this year. But that's actually the plan before. By the way, this management review was done prior to the pandemic. Okay? This was this was presented last January, I think. Okay, January. All right, moving on. So we have this, the trending analysis. So last year was very good. Thank you very much, IP Paglaom Student Organization, for this. Okay. And for student leader seminars training, so we have different events. We have 6 events, and then we have different also uh, indicators, yes. And the highest usually came from, okay, actually pantay man sila. But I would like to still highlight the student participation, because without the student participation, our activities will not really be successful. Okay? So our action plan for this is to sustain conduct of literary musical competition via online, honing competencies in speaking, writing, and performing of students. Continue to conduct activities on IP awareness and development of our indigenous people scholars, okay, and find ways to let our student leaders participate in webinars that develop their KSAs, or knowledge, skills, and abilities. Next, we have the student development and engagement feedback on leadership training. So last year, our leadership training or lead camp was conducted within the University Matina campus. And it ran from Friday. It was a Friday and then a Saturday. So it's more of one and a half. Okay. And with that, we would like to think that those who participated liked the activity because the activities, the design had gathered 4.71 rating. And hence, we would like to still continue to conduct that. But during this pandemic, what we do now is more on webinars. Okay? Ganun na lang. So we started with our smart, cyber smart, and then it was followed with the DILG core, okay, webinar. And hopefully the third part of the series for leadership training, uh, uh, the Globe actually contacted us that they will also conduct webinars. So we have Smart, we have Globe, and we have Core from the ILG. So expect that there will be free webinars that we are going to participate. Now, if you want that to become part in your AOP so that it will not be any more burdened on your part, you will not be burdened on it. It will not be a burden on your part to organize and all, but participate. That's actually our goal. Participate on free webinars because it's pandemic. We do not want to really impose very complicated student events, no? Kay lisod sa kwarta, lisod tanan. All right? But the thing is, even with this pandemic, we still are resilient to get across to our fellow students the objectives of our student organization, the purpose of our student organization and college student government. Okay? Yan. So continue. We have here the trend analysis. And the next we have the recollection. Yeah, the recollection is conducted basically to the graduating students. So just the same, we would like to share this to you so that you will know that indeed campus ministry programs are part of OSA. That's why if you notice in our Facebook page, we have uploaded some spiritual assessment slides and some holy mass, okay, slides or videos, okay, for you to just if you want, okay. But the thing is, campus ministry is always open for any spiritual upliftment that our student will be asking or requesting, okay. Yan. But you have also to consider that because of pandemic, we will not be able to have it face to face, but maybe via online only. Okay, now here goes. The monitoring of compliance report from CSG and student organization. Yes, this was presented during the last management review. It is really important to present this because first, we are mandated by CHED CMO 9 series of 2013 to create student organizations and to present their accomplishments to the management or to the heads of the university. Why do we do this? Because we believe that when we do monitor all our students' activities, it will help our students be guided, be informed, and be aware of the information needed for them to be developed and honed. Also, aside from be informed, they may be able to capacitate themselves na sila mismo mubuhat ani. Okay? And hence, by doing that, they become better citizens of our community. Remember, we are 21,000 students, more or less. Compared to other schools, ay na lang, we are voluminous. That is why every single move of a particular UMian, the ripples are not in just ripples, but waves, no? The effect are like waves of tidal wave that, aniday ang UM, ana gani. But there's always, you know, positive and negative. But I would like to think on the positive side. That is why we will always strive that whatever we do, okay, together with the student leaders, whatever you do in your student organizations or your college student government, always think that it will affect grandiosely, no? Hindi lang siya pasimple-simple ba, sa tinud-anay lang. That's why we have to be prudent, okay? Himay-himayon yun nato na siya, no? Na maayo gyud ang epekto. We should be cautious, okay? Because it's always vulnerable to different interpretation, okay? And then we should be earnest, meaning sincere ta. Kasi whatever we present, it will always reflect. Our sincerity will always reflect on the kind of words we say, kind of words we post online. Okay? So that's why let me share to you the CSG AOP actual accomplishment of the school year 2019-2020. Thank you very much for the CTE, the CHE, the CHSE, okay, for having the line of three. Ay, line of three, line of nine. Oh, kung sa kwan pa ni, klase pa ni, wow, mga line of nine. Meaning, what they have conceptualized, they have accomplished. Okay. Kung wala may na-accomplish, siguro isa, duha because of pandemic. Wala na human eh. Okay. Yes, thank you also to CCE for having that 80%. KAE for the 79%. Okay. And CBAE for the 75%. And CCJE for the 62%. CASE, the case and the KAFAE, nga naman 50 and below, murag kinahanglan yun ning hilutonon karon. I would like to emphasize that our focus will be my focus will be on you. Okay? I don't know if you will let me, but I am telling you now, I hope that your student organization and the student organization leaders and the CSG officers will really put together. I mean, be united. Kasi one goal lang mga one UM rata ba? So, kung pwede, let's set aside our whatever the thing is going, whatever the thing that is doing there, going on there. Sometimes ang ego raman gud, di ba? Makakuan ba sa anyway, maybe there are some factors, but we really do not know what are the factors involved. But the thing is, we need to step up. Okay? I challenge you, KAFAE and CASE officers, student officers for school year 2020-2021. This is really your time to shine. Okay? Yan. But of course, for the rest, dili magpakampante, ha? Kinahanglan, we have to maintain or, do better than what was given last year. But of course, okay, tungod sa pandemic, dili ko dapat mag-expect og taas. Yeah. Kita tanan, dili ta dapat mag-expect og taas. It is because during this time, we really have to be lenient. We really have to simplify things. Kung pwede, if you noticed, we only asked 3 events in your AOP. 3 lang yun for the school year 2020-2021. Tulo lang. First din ha is your general orientation. We need to conduct that so that your colleagues, your fellow student organization members, your members, will be able to know that first, you exist. Second, you're here to continue. And third, you will triumphantly overcome and reach your success for the school year plans. Okay? Ganyan dapat, ha? Yan. So with this, we have out of the accredited student organization for school year, indeed, our academic student org gathers the most. For student organization, actual accomplishment from KAE and CASE. So we have here, okay. Kabalo na mo, kisa na kinahanglan dapat diri mag-boost sa ilahang efforts this year, no? Yan. I need to show you this so that you will know your standing. Also, for the CBAE, all of these. Pero murag, isa lang ata ang atong CBAE karon or duha. Okay? Ang uban, wala nag-renew. Nag-reaccredit. Next, from CEE. Okay? CICPEP gathers the most. Yan. ACES and CESES. Sige. I don't know kung nakaparin yun. Hindi ko memorize eh. Okay. Sige lang. I hope you can do better this year. Next, under the student organization under CTE. Okay. We have YEAST and UMCTMS, pero I think they have changed some of these student orgs have changed their names. Okay, Spectrum before is different now. Yeah, Sineo, hindi ko memorize. Okay, and also the social studies becomes the Ilustrados. Okay, sige, it's all right. And then for the cultural and civic organization, okay, I hope you will still perform this year for those who have reaccredited. And then for the religious, okay? So now you know your situation. Sige lang. So if you noticed, there were really no student organization who perfected the 100% performance because we ended abruptly last year. So it's all right. No worries with that. Even our performance also, we were also curtailed because of the pandemic. Now here for our action plan, this was proposed that we are going to have a threshold for reaccreditation based on AOP actual accomplishment of student activities by student organization. Due to pandemic, proposed threshold would be this one. And for those who are below 50%, no reaccreditation, except unless appealed by the program head. So we asked permission actually from the UM management if we're going to continue with this proposal. Sabi nila, be lenient. Sige. That is why if you notice, some of you who have below 50% completion rate last year were still renewed or reaccredited this year. But then again, I would like to emphasize that you are monitored, okay? And let's just say probationary, pero ayoko mag-label, meaning to say, i-focus na to, as much as possible. Anyway, we only required 3 activities. Siya rin pagod na siya 100% this year. Okay? And then, based on the CQL findings, okay, this is connected with ISO, attendance participation of student organization advisors, particularly, shall be included in the accreditation and reaccreditation. So that's why we ask for letter. And if you notice my agreement, last year kasi walang agreement. Ngayon, may agreement na talaga as another document. And based on that, that would serve as their um, attesting their conviction as advisors for the student organization. Okay? So excuse letters or letters of excuse will not be honored. Now, moving on. So that was the AOP for student organization and CSG. In short, we would like to really emphasize that what we are doing, especially coordinating with you as our student leaders, we report that to the management because we are mandated to do that by CMO 9 series of 2013. Part of the CMO 9 series of 2013 is the report on student violation. So we have here some of the complaints filed from June to May. Okay. So for the last year, we have 46 complaints, and then there were 37 who were processed, and then the remaining 9 were not processed because of the pandemic. They were scheduled actually for hearings, disciplinary hearings, but it was not pushed through because of the pandemic. So we are still finding ways on how to do this because it's not actually feasible for us to do it online. Also, for the reported, ano itong reported? These are the confiscated IDs by the CSO. Yan siya kadako, no? Kadaghan. That's 3,368. And out of which, we have 3,332 that were processed. Others were not processed because they did not actually go to the OSA right away after their confiscation of IDs. Muna daghang pag ID dito sa office. Okay, and they were not yet oriented. So we hope that during in our new setup, we will be able to process them online. Hopefully. Pero as murag lahira man gud siya online. Okay. Hence, we have 98% completion rate for the report on student violation. Unsa man yung mga student violation? Okay. Number of occurrences or cases, we have cyberbullying and others. No? Ano na siya? Okay. Wala pa may LMS sa una kaayo na issue, so wala tayong makitang LMS. Yan. Siguro karon daghan na tag LMS. Okay. Which is actually true. So, Pareto analysis. Okay. And yes, in terms of the student report on student violation, indeed, for first sem and second semesters, school year 2019-2020, dress code is the winning violation line na winning is the most collated number of violators, no? Violations made by the students as violators. All right. Karon kay wa naman tay kuan, hopefully at least makapahuway siya. Siguro online na po diri ang magawas. I don't know. I'm still hoping that it will not have this same number, no? Tanawa ra gud 2,000. That's already the population with another school. My God. Ato 2,000 over 21,000. Okay. I don't know. Do the math. Next, we have for the other school year. Compared to last year, we have ID policy in 2018-2019. Katupod, not wearing. So, at least gaan-gaan na. There's an improvement. Okay. Nadili na siya ID. Dress code na pod. In 2017, we have classroom behavior because these violations were actually taken from or received from the complaints by our teachers. And then in 2016, 2017, ID policy, then dress code 2015, 2016. Okay, so our action plans on that, yes, we have to strengthen coordination with SSO if we're going to go back with the face-to-face in campus mode of delivery of instruction. And then, of course, we have reviewed and updated already the dress code policy with the permission and approval from the UM management, particularly the EXCOM. Okay, so we are in the process of the revision of our student handbook 2020. Okay, and then we formulate intervention programs to reduce occurrences of violations. So that's why part of our intervention programs are those indicated in the good citizenship program. That good citizenship program is a program of so many it's a series of so many uh, republic acts or statutory policies yun. Statutory policies and regulatory policies. So it's not only, for now, what you will see is the general orientation for freshmen and transferees. And then the second is the violence against women, the provision, the Republic Act 9262, violence against women. Vauci. Okay, yan. And after that, we still have other sets of slides for you to do and then take on the pre-test and post-test because these will be presented and submitted to CHED. Okay. Now, moreover, if we go back to the first slide that I had, which is the student personal services, this is the feedback, the client's feedback that UMO gave us based on that. So, in short, the customer complaints, we have student services related. It gathered the highest number of percentage in terms of complaints, no? And then what is that complaint? Basically coming from the drafting table, which is from the CAFAI. At that time, daghan kayo nag-complain sa drafting table. So karon murag na-change na, naayos na, nagpalit na ang uban. Sayang lang, hindi lang magamit. Okay? Sige lang, pagbalik. And then, we also have customer service, no? As part of the most number of complaints we have for the staff and faculty. Ang ilahang service daw. And then, we have here the summary of complaints. And then the total per area of concern. So for academics, most complaints gathered were from the student services related and facilities. Okay, facilities and then baliktad ko. Okay, and then from the academics, yes, CAFAE, most complaints we got were from CAFAE, and then from basic education, and then, okay, admission, okay, for, not from pala, for ba, for. So, yun. And then, from the non-academics. But before that, we have the total per area of concern. So student service related. Then the facilities. Mostly, they were about the ICTC. So many. Yeah, it's more of the ICT. Okay, the ICT, and then the guidance testing, the GSTC, Guidance Services and Testing Center. Okay, the RAC, and of course, the PPMGS. All right. So these are the feedbacks that we gathered from the students who complained and used our SPS feedback form online. And then these are collated by the QMO, Quality Management Office, and was sent to us for reporting and presentation. And thank you very much. Dugay-dugay, yun ko nagstorya, no? Pasaylo ako, ha? Sa kadugay sa kong pagstorya. But I would like to think that with what I have presented, I would like to expect from our student leaders for first do what you're supposed to do, okay? And then follow the policies of the university, especially when we post, since our mode of communication is more into online. I would like to think that you will be more cautious on how you are going to post online, how you talk online. Okay? Kasi lisod bang kayo kuan? Lahira ba? It's really different when you are going to talk face to face, because the context is understandable. But when it is posted online, especially typed, and then the context is different, meaning how it is being read by someone who reads, it's always being open to vulnerabilities, no, different interpretation. I don't know kung pa-joke lang dito, at kabalo, no? Pero the thing is, it was written, and if it is written, it is posted, and if it is posted, aray, it will be shown on public. So that's why be careful, no? So if you noticed, yes, our presence in the Facebook will really be there, and be hovering all of your Facebook accounts. Ako yaw yun mo jud mig nighttime tanan ba. But the thing is, we are online also, and we will really also monitor your performance. But then again, we also would like to request from you that in doing so, in fulfilling our annual plans for this year, we would like to request that your participation for our activities and events will always be there. This is for our commitment that we will always be present, okay? Our commitment to our student organization, our commitment to ourselves, that we will survive, no? We will survive this 2020-2021. Okay. All right. So with that, student leaders, ma'am, sir, because actually this is recorded and this will be shown also to your student campus advisors, student organization campus advisors. We are really thankful that you have shown your, and you have, we are really thankful that you have given us your affirmative conviction that you will be part of all our endeavors, so that our students will be guided and we will be able to push through with all of their programs. For the student leaders of different student organizations and college student government, we thank you also for your acuity, no? Kanaganing, and alacrity in yourself, that you are there, no? You are there because you think that it is valuable, that this year is another year for you to step up, and for another year for you to show to yourself, not necessarily to others, but show to yourself that you are indeed a student leader. We will not compare ourselves to the previous student leaders of the previous years, because they have different situation. They have a different context. They have a different climate. But what we will do this year, and what we are going to do this year, is our own style. So we should not compare ourselves to others. All right? So with that, thank you very much. Pasayloa sa taas kaya nga time, but thank you very much. May I now give the floor to our MC.
The topics are accreditation or reaccreditation of student organizations or clubs, and OPM 18.04 student organizations and activities, Requirements for accreditation or re-accreditation of student organizations or clubs. OPM 18.04. Policies and guidelines. Qualifications of student officer. After activity reports. Policies and guidelines. All student campus organizations must be duly accredited or re-accredited by the Office of Student Affairs OSA. The OSA has the authority to grant recognition to any student organization that has complied with all the requirements set by the university. However, the OSA reserves the right to disapprove any application, withdraw or cancel the recognition granted for any of the grounds enumerated in the OSA manual. Every organization must have a CBL which should be anchored on the objectives of the Philippine Constitution, the vision, mission, and values of the University, Commission on Higher Education, CHED, orders, and other laws issued by duly constituted authorities. Every organization must have a faculty advisor or non-teaching moderator who is allowed with only on advisory commitment. Recruitment of members shall be open to all college levels, for academic organizations only. Civic, religious and other student clubs organizations membership, except academic organization, shall be limited to upperclassmen, since freshmen are still in a period of adjustment. Aside from the class organization, a student is not allowed to join more than 2 organizations. A student who is a president or chairman, a secretary, or a treasurer of one organization can only become a member in the second organization. Hazing in any form is strictly prohibited in the organization. All student officers and their advisors are collectively held responsible for the commission of acts inimical to the best interest and well-being of the members and the university in general. Should students collect membership fee from the organization members, financial due diligence should be complied. The student organization or club has to submit liquidation reports and shall subject its financial reports to audit by the duly assigned auditor. Approval shall be secured prior to the conduct of any activity, project, or use of any school facility and/or collection of contributions from its members. As part of documentation purposes, the narrative report shall be submitted to OSA. The student organization or club shall submit a mid-year accomplishment report or year-end annual report to the OSA director, duly signed by the required signatories. All officers and faculty advisors are collectively held responsible for the monitoring or implementing interventions for any violations of its members. Qualification of student officer. A student must be currently enrolled in at least 18 units, and has no failing, dropped or incomplete grades in the previous semester immediately preceding the election. Must not have any record of misconduct and must be cleared of any accountability of funds in any organization which he or she has been an officer or member. Failure in any academic subject in the current semester or term shall disqualify the officer from continuously discharging his or her function in the organization. For graduating students, the 18-unit requirement may be reduced based on the actual load needed for graduation as certified by the registrar. After activity reports to be submitted. Narrative report in paragraph. Documentation. Evaluation report. Minutes of the meeting. Liquidation report with official receipts. Financial due diligence. Attendance sheets.